Hi, and welcome back to Winging It, my cooking show. Today we're going to be making a keto version of shrimp alioli. Instead of pasta, we're going to be using zoodles. And basically everything else is the same recipe as you would do for regular alioli. All right, to start off, I've got the shrimp here that I defrosted. And to defrost the shrimp, all I did was take the frozen shrimp, throw it into a strainer, into a bowl. In this situation, grab a bowl and a strainer. You put the strainer in the bowl, and you put the shrimp in the strainer, and you just run cold water over it until they get defrosted. It only takes a few minutes. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dry these off, and I'm going to peel them. And one of the things that's going to be important here is to save the peel, because we're going to be using that while we're making our sauce. So just grab shrimp. These are pre-cut on the sides. I usually like using whole shrimp with these pre-cuts just because it gives you the option of using the peel, leaving the peel on, or taking it off. This one, we're going to be taking it off. And yeah, so that was an example of doing it, but let me get a plate so I can actually throw these things on them. Um, when you're when you're peeling your shrimp, what you want to do is you grab it by the base up here. You first unfurl it from the shell, pull it up, you grab it by the base up here, and then you pinch it at where the frilly bits of the tail meet the hard part of the tail, and that's how you get the most meat out of it. So I'm going to do this for all these shrimp. Not today. I will not cook with my shirt off today. Yeah, this is a basic recipe. You can actually use a bunch of different meats for this. It doesn't just have to be shrimp. One of the things I like to do is when I'm not on keto diet is pork tenderloin and pork tenderloin, right? No, pork chop. I'll do a fried pork chop and I'll serve that with the aglioli. All right, shrimp is all deshelled. We are keeping both the shell and the shrimp. The next thing I'm going to do is cut up the shrimp into some bite-sized pieces. Then we're going to just give it a quick salt. So, yeah, just grab your shrimp. Put these all back on the cutting board. Woo! Almost lost the shells there. Take it. Quick way to cut shrimp like this. Fold it into the U shape like that. Give it 1, 2, and 3 cuts. And that should give you a bunch of nice bite-sized pieces. This is going to be a quick recipe today. None of this actually takes long to cook. The longest part actually probably going to be the prep. Looks like we got some more first-time chatters in the chat. Yes, it is a zucchini. We're going to be making zoodles for the pasta instead of using actual pasta. And I'll actually begin to that right now. First, I got to wash off this cutting board because it just had a bunch of shrimp on it. Grab a paper towel. Put it down. A little soap. And clean. you go. All right, I'll put these aside for when we're ready. Oh, almost forgot salt. Don't want to forget the salt. You want to, by seasoning it right now, salt will get a little more into the shrimp. Tastes better. Give it a little mix around. Keep the shells on one side. Now I'll just set these aside for when we're ready to cook. All right. For zoodles, I have this thing. This is a vegetable spiralizer. It will take any vegetable that's like a little bit dense and turn it into basically spaghetti. I got it set at a 2 millimeter blade right now, so these will make nice thin, like angel hair style noodles. That salt shaker was an electric salt shaker because I am what you call lazy. And I don't feel like grinding my own salt. I just want the salt to grind for me, but I still want grinded salt. All right, for the zucchini, this is just a regular old zucchini. Just cut off the tip of it and the base. Now, let me move this camera over so it's easy to see with the spiralizer. Oops. There we go. So we got the spiralizer here, has a spinning portion, arm to move back and forth, and the blades. All we do is take our zucchini. I'm actually going to chop this in half because it's easier to do when they're shorter vegetables. So I'm just taking the zucchini and chopping it in half. And you stick it on these spikes at the end, which then there's another like big circular spike in the middle of the blade. Push it against that, then you spiralize. Oops. This also has a suction cup piece on the bottom, so it helps enforce it to the table, but that will always come up. It's not the best suction cup. So you want to spiralize it a bit, then pull, or else you get just forever long noodles, and they're a freaking pain in the ass to actually work with. So pull. And the good thing about the zoodles is they cook much faster than pasta. You don't need to boil water or anything like that. We can just do it straight in the pan that we're going to be cooking the shrimp in. Bad thing is the zoodles, they don't taste like pasta. But they're good enough. They're a good sauce delivery system, which any good noodle should be. Oops. Making a bit of a mess. This thing is a nightmare to clean, that's one thing. These spiralizers, they get so many little nooks and crannies that you have to get into when you clean them. So I got that to look forward to in the future. Alright. Zoodles all done. Makes a big old plate of them, just that one zucchini, doesn't it? Big old plate. And it only has the calories and the carbs of one zucchini. Alright. So now I'm going to make the preparations for the sauce. We're going to bring out our handy dandy little blender. And we're going to add about a little over a tablespoon of oil. Because we're also going to be using the pan for, we're going to be putting oil in the pan as well. Am I going to be streaming cod tonight? I don't know, am I? And then we want to basically level out the oil with as much garlic as possible. This is another reason why I always say buy pre-peeled garlic. It's just so much more worth it, especially when you need a lot of garlic. Put that back. All right, we're gonna add some Italian herb blend. This is basically just your regulation oregano, basil, thyme, rosemary. There's some garlic in here, parsley. Just your regular old Italian seasonings in a convenient fashion. Open it up because apparently I used all my other one, which makes sense. I use a lot of Italian seasoning in my cooking. And it's gonna be a pain in the ass. There we go. All right. And then you want to season this generously. You want it to basically be a green layer on top of your sauce. Kind of like, if you can see that. It's a lot of seasoning, but the seasoning is one of the stars of the show. Then we add a bunch of salt. When you're dealing with a lot of oil, you need a lot of salt. And that should be good. And some pepper. Now I'm going to cover this and bring it over to my blender and turn this into the base of the sauce, which is going to basically be a paste because there's so little oil. Usually you want to use a lot of oil if you're making an alioli for like a big old family dinner, or if you're not on restricted oils diet as well. All right, sorry for the loud noise. If you notice, I'm pulsing the blender so that the solid garlic can fall back down into the holes that's created by the spinning blades itself. So we got our sauce here. We'll just sit this here and let it wait for when we're ready for it, which will be when we are right about to put in the pasta. Until then, it's time to cook the shrimp. So for the shrimp, first thing you're gonna do is preheat the oven. Let me move the camera down. Not the oven, the stovetop. I'm preheating this on a medium high with a little more of our extra virgin olive oil. Usually when I'm cooking things, I'll cook them in just sauteing oil, but when you're cooking something like an alioli where it already has some olive oil, extra virgin, I'll use an extra virgin. It adds a little more flavor to it versus the sauteing, which is not supposed to actually add much flavor. So I pour that in about a tablespoon. And then I'm just going to wait for that to heat up. While that does, I'm going to grab a fork for mixing. And we can switch over to the other camera. Here we go. And I go to camera. And let's transition over to that. All right. So we're on our second camera. We're waiting for this oil to be able to, move like that. That means it's heated up enough. So we're taking our shrimp and our shells and we're putting them both in here right now. And it doesn't take long for this to happen. Shrimp cooks pretty quickly, so I'm going to be sitting around watching it. We want our shells to basically be flavoring the oil that's in the pan to give it a more of a fishy flavor. So let that sit a bit. Wait till they get a little translucent. And opaque. They are translucent. We want them to be opaque. Doesn't take long. Probably another minute or two. And I'm actually gonna wait until they're a little less than a minute because it's just going to continue to cook with the zoodles and the pasta sauce. So I'm actually going to put in the pasta sauce now, but I need both hands for that. So how do we do this? Nope. I'll just switch over back to here for now so I can use both hands. Because I'm opening this up and I'm going to just pour all the contents into the pan. All that garlic in there. Put that in the sink. And now I can switch back to the camera. And we'll just mix this around. We want the garlic to be incorporated with everything. This is exactly what we want. We don't want this to cook too long, though. We're not looking to like brown our garlic. We're just looking to scent our garlic, which I'm beginning to smell right now. So then we're gonna add our zoodles. We're gonna turn it down a bit and let it cook. Zoodles go in, and we toss everything else around it. The shells are gonna be helping with the flavor of all this. Zoodles will soften after a bit, which makes them a little easy to mix, but trying to get everything up. I'm going to turn this down to about there. It's a little past the medium low, but it's not at medium. And now all we have to do is keep moving around and wait. We're looking for the zoodles to get hot but not smushy. So there is a fine line there that you have to watch out for. So I'm going to leave this alone to cook for a few minutes and get my plate ready. Transition back to me. Oh, one thing I forgot to add, a little bit of lemon juice. Because we have shrimp in there, seafood really could benefit from some acidity, and especially lemon, especially if you're doing Italian food. So I'm just going to squeeze basically that much lemon juice. It's basically you're playing with the food with squirts of lemon. And I'll move that around again. Shrimp all up in there. So good. All right, gonna grab a plate. Yeah, I'm gonna do my best to fancy up this plate, give it a little bit of character. So, actually, I'm gonna need my tongs for this, and I'm gonna have to wash them off because they are dirty. Yep. Let's see how. All right. Pasta looks done. Like I said, very fast meal. Let me just double check with a nice taste test. Exactly what I want. So the done pasta, You can see the noodles are softer, easy to maintain, but they haven't turned to mush yet. Sorry. So let's get to plating. Gonna lift this slowly, drop and spin. Get that shell out of there. Up, drop and spin. Now shell, 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 shell. All right. Take our shrimp, put that in a little hole in the middle. We can put it around the base as well. There we go. All right. Now we're gonna use the rest of the sauce as a topping, but first I wanna get these shells into a little pretty position. I need my hands for that. So something like around the edges. Now these shells do have a really good flavor, so I would not poo-poo you if you decide to suckle upon the shell. All right, that's looking good. Now we take our sauce, put it at the bottom of the pan, mix it around a bit, try to reincorporate everything with it, pour it over the top. There we go. Brush garlic here and there. And there we have it. Quick, easy meal that, only took, 20 minutes to cook? Gonna take a quick photo of this. Move you guys aside for a second. You don't get to be in the photo. I get to be in the photo. No, I don't. Only the food gets to be in the photo. I think I want it on the other side. Oh yeah, that's the picture. Just gotta get there. Perfect. Now for the ever important taste test. Get some zoodles. Get a piece of shrimp. Mmm. Zoodles still have a little bit of a crunch, which is nice. The shrimp is perfectly cooked through, and everything's just got that garlicky, intense flavor. It's a quick, easy meal. Doesn't cost much to make. It is just absolutely delicious. High recommendation. But that's gonna do it. That'll be it for my cooking stream tonight, and I'll be cooking everyone dinner once keto's over. Once I'm actually down to weight and can cook a bigger, less healthy meal, then I will be cooking everyone dinner, and it will be good, and everyone will love it. So that said, I guess everyone keep eating good and have a good night.